Hi, everyone. Here is Ricardo Vargas, and welcome to the 5 Minutes Podcast. A very special podcast because I'm recording here directly from Austin, Texas, from the South by Southwest. And I decided to attend this year because, as you know, I'm working a lot on AI and technology and the impact of technology on the project management work. And I decided to come here because I want to understand how the future will look like. So I'm trying to learn what are the trends and what people are talking about to prepare myself and to prepare for the content I produce, for the courses, for whatever I do in the field. And honestly, I'm very surprised because this event, first, it's about 70,000 people. And the event combines music, cinema, virtual reality, technology trends. But of course, I had to select the topics I want to follow more closely. So I decided to follow more closely AI, of course, the implications of AI, trends, geopolitics, and technology. These were, I would say, the core of what I was looking for. And I started by watching the MIT Technology Review release of the 10 trends that I always try to talk about. And of course, I will not mention all of them. You can watch this presentation and you can check. But some of them were very much related to what I think. For example, small language models instead of only large language models. And why? It's some type of optimization because you don't need to have in your phone, for example, a large language model that could solve all possible problems of humanity. Let's suppose you are a project manager. You can have in your phone a small language model that only helps you on project-related questions. So this will reduce the amount of energy, reduce the training and this. So this is a potential trend for 2025. Also, a lot of discussions about biotech, and the combination with artificial intelligence and this. And this, I need to share with you, this was very, very disruptive for me. Why? Because I always thought that we would develop projects of creating, I would say, a computer processor or a GPU and implant this like Neuralink. But what they said is the opposite. It's you cultivate neuron cells and you can create brain computer. And this was what Amy Webb said on her trends. And this was one of the most popular sections there. And this is on YouTube and you can watch it. So brain computer. And I said, wow, this is completely different. We are talking about, instead of using steel, and we were talking about green steel, like at MIT said, but we are talking, why not instead of using steel to revest, I would say, to make the body of the car, why you don't take rhino skin that I didn't know, but they said it's about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters thick, and it's very flexible, and you raise these cells in the lab, and you create a rhino car. Instead of using steel, you use rhino skin. I said, wow, this is crazy. But this may be a reality that is far more close than we think. So this was a very, very hot topic here. So if you, for example, are working in bio, in a pharma industry, on related industries, this is a big trend you need to be aware. Another big trend that I saw here, it's how AI and humans will relate to each other. And a lot of concerns about AI reducing the choice of humans, AI manipulating humans, of course, humans who build AI systems using it to manipulate other humans. So there is a big concern about, for example, Scott Galloway said about young males, specifically males, that are much more attached to chatbots, and porn sites and this than to real life. To real experiences, to go out and to meet people. So we are creating a generation that could be much more challenging to interact and to integrate to the society with other people. This was very alarming. This presentation is already also on YouTube and you can watch it. And last but not least, I said last week about vibe coding. And if you are listening to me and you work on software development, your company is a software development company, or you work in IT projects in your company, please take a note. Vibe coding. I'm not talking about low code, no code. Look, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about vibe code. My friend Manuel was with me here, and he's a VC, a venture capitalist, and we were talking, and in 15 minutes on a break, him and I built a full application, a full website in 15 minutes with zero code, zero talking, just talking, saying, I want a store that sells products. I want for each product a view. I was stunned. I never ever saw something like that. And of course, as a project manager, I immediately imagined what this means to a schedule, what this means to the software development platform. What does this mean to the way we build software, the way we manage? For example, with that, maybe you don't need agile. You don't need a storyboard. You don't need anything. You just talk. And the client, like myself, can just talk to AI and they can produce the website for you. Of course, I'm saying it's still not perfect. Of course. But it took us 15 minutes. Look, for most of the IT companies, if you are ultra fast to build a prototype, it takes you 1 or 2 weeks. 15 minutes in the break, sitting on an auditorium. So think about that, please. I will record a podcast just about vibe coding project and the implication of that in project management. But this is something that will affect fully all of us working with technology and technology projects, and will not affect us in 2030. It will affect us in a few months coming from here. So they are becoming extremely, platforms like GitHub are allowing the training of so many large language models that it becomes really impossible for humans to compete in terms of speed. I was talking to him, even for you to type the code, it takes more than 15 minutes. If you type it perfectly, it takes you more than 15 minutes. So it's a massive disruption that we will see in the way we develop software. And this is something that can be extremely positive and at the same time extremely risky and complex to all of us. So this was the summary. Sorry for speaking, I would say, in a more chaotic way, because my mind is today completely chaotic. But next week, I will record a second part of this podcast telling what I will see starting tomorrow up to the day we finish the conference. But it's disruption on the top of disruption. And honestly, I'm used to disruption. But what I saw here, it's mind-blowing. Trust me, it's from another planet. It's something that I only thought it would be possible in sci-fi movies. And I can see it's far more close to reality than we thought. Think about that and see you next week with another 5 minutes podcast.